Hello, y'all. Welcome to episode number 6 of On the Sofa with Sisu, with me, Olajide.
And me, Louisa.
This week on our episode, we have a little icebreaker courtesy of World Book Day. We talk about the importance of storytelling, and we are still looking for a sponsor for our event. Woo! And we talk about questioning. We talk about questioning. We take questions, from our Sea Society, newly named, and we also talk about rimming. Catch it all on this week's episode. Enjoy!
Enjoy.
Hello, everyone.
Love the
Energy. We are starting the show a little bit different today, aren't we, Lou?
We are. Thank you to James as
Thanks
well.
to James. So James has very kindly, I mean, he is the best. Like, he is, honestly, I feel like we've found someone to join our little crew, and he's giving us life. And
hit the jackpot with James.
We've hit the jackpot.
Jackpot James.
We were actually talking about him yesterday, and we were like, he's just someone that is giving us the right energy, the right tools to be like the best we can be at this podcast.
Bearing with us.
And also having loads of patience. So yeah, big up yourself, James. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Pew, pew. Anyway, so we're starting this today with a little bit of a sound bath. Is that what we're calling it? A sound bath.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound bath.
Sound bath.
Because James has purchased these glorious sound bowls.
Oh gosh, I feel like QVC right now.
Yes.
Now I feel like QVC. And here we have gold metallic bowl.
Yeah.
Satin covered donut.
And we're now going to rim the bowls.
We are.
No.
We're rimming.
Honestly, it's actually called rimming when you make the noise around the bowl. So we're going to rim. But James also hasn't just purchased us these lovely sound bowls. He's also given us these lovely little coasters for our coupes. Coupe coasters.
Love it.
Coupe coasters. We are merched to the nines, girls, guys, and non-binds.
Cheers to that.
I've got nothing in it. I'm empty.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to have water today.
Well, we are on a bit of a mission to get fit and healthy, aren't we, over the next few months?
That didn't work, pouring water.
Mine. Here you go.
Thank you. It's all right. I've got water.
Oh, it's all right, James. We've got it.
Right. So we are going to do a bit of a sound bath to start ourselves off this week, right?
Yeah.
Let's give it a whirl, shall we?
Okay.
Everyone, take a deep breath. And allow yourself to just feel a sense of calmness as we embark on this journey together today.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, I love it.
Take a deep breath, everyone.
I'm not going to lie, though. It does kind of feel like, the news. Boom.
Oh!
What news channel is that?
Boom! It sounds like Big Ben.
Is it BBC?
Sounds like Big Ben and everything. Anyway.
That's lovely.
It's just a nice way to just start.
I'm carrying it around in my handbag. Because, walking about your day-to-day life, you sometimes have those stressful moments. I feel like I can just find myself a little corner and boom.
So everyone,
I'm cool.
Everyone, if you see Louisa in the corner of Primark with her little gold bowl, just going bong, bong, I need peace. And Maisie will be running circles around and going, Mummy, what are you doing? That's our Lou.
It's so true. Yeah, that's coming in my handbag.
Oh God, yes. So thank you so much for that, James.
Thank
I really,
you,
really
James.
appreciate that. So we're gonna try and do that every week, I think.
Yeah.
A little
bing bong.
bing bong.
Bing bong.
Energise ourselves. Anyway,
Who's your friend that likes to play? Bing bong, bing bong.
Never heard that game before. Anyway, how was your week, Lou? What did you get up to?
Oh, I've had a nice week. It's been a really good week. I need to just check because I had. Well, I'll start again. So, 2 really cool meetings that I've had this week. One with Christian Louboutin, which was so fun, so nice, beautiful office, and one with this really cool guy called Josh, who owns a like bougie luxury catering company called Opus 11. You know when you meet somebody and they just give you so much vibes. He was like super passionate about everything that he was talking about, and like he wants to get involved in this space, and he wants to like give back to, you know, the community and get, you know, do more outreach work and stuff. Like he's built his business from scratch, you know, humble guy from Bristol, and he's built this like kick-ass catering company, and he's like, I'm just now ready to like pour back into, you know, whoever I can, really. Really, really sweet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting up with him again. We're gonna chat to him again, aren't we, soon?
Yeah, gutted I didn't get to meet him. It sounds like an absolute dream.
He was cool. Yeah, he was cool. And had World Book Day with Maisie. Obviously, that was fucking stressful. Do you know what? All these little things, yeah, sometimes I'm like, this is supposed to be super fun, and you are making it the opposite of that.
But who's it meant to be fun for? Her,
it's supposed to be fun for her.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, please, can you just like see the fun in this? So basically, she wanted to go dressed up as either Hermione Granger or Wednesday Addams. We both know which one is more suited. Anyway, she decided to choose Hermione Granger. So I got her a costume, just ordered some little shitty thing from Asda it was. It was just like a cape printed, you know.
Yeah. Easy
peasy. There you go, chuck it on over your uniform, done. Well, there was multiple problems with that. The cat, for one, I was like, she goes to me, Mummy, why is this cape got this cat printed on it? I was like, well, because it's Hermione Granger's cat. She was like, what? She has a cat? I was like, why are you even going as Hermione Granger if you don't know that she's got a cat? You're obviously not a fan.
I don't remember Hermione Granger having a cat.
What?
What, they followed her around?
Yeah, every person that goes to Hogwarts has a pet.
Oh, yeah, a beast. Yeah, the cat.
Hers is a ginger cat.
Yeah.
A little moody thing. I was like, Maisie would have been better off going as the cat.
Easy thing to forget.
Well, I just think she probably didn't even notice in the first place. So anyway,
I'm with you, Maze.
that was that. We've also had like a real hoo-ha in the household because I think that Maisie might have nits again, or had nits again when she did. She was scratching. So the night that I realised that she might have nits was the night before World Book Day, and I was like, I didn't have time basically to do the treatment. Sometimes that happens. And
sorry, all the other kids in her school.
Yeah, apologies. But anyway, so the next day I was like, you can't wear your hair down. You need to have it up in a plait. And she just went mental about it. She was like, I want to wear my hair down. I was like, you can't because it's out of order. So she basically went to school with a Croydon facelift and a plait and this Hermione Granger costume, and she was fuming. She was like, on the way there, she went, I wish I went as Wednesday Addams. I was like, well, you're certainly fucking acting like it. So yeah, so that was my highlight of the week. How was your week? What have you been up to?
My week has been, I've been self-indulgent because I've had a flu all week. Oh, so yeah, I realised I mean, most people don't cope well when they're ill, but I really have not coped. Like, my brain has been so fuzzy. Like, I feel like I wake up and I'm like, what day is it? Like, it just felt really like lethargic, but I'm much better now. But apart from that, I went on a posh bar crawl in Berkhamsted with some friends, which was really fun. Had a really good Saturday afternoon, and we had some amazing lunch at this place called, I can't remember, in Berkhamsted, called I can't remember. Putti? I can't remember. It's like an Italian restaurant. Really nice. Anyway, if anyone is in Berko, go there.
Sounds kind of like that.
And then I also realised that I am the Sunday roast king. Like, I felt so.
As in your roasts are the best.
The best.
Oh yeah.
Saturday we went out, and by the end of Saturday night, I was feeling ill. I was like, okay, I don't feel well.
Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, woke up and I was like, okay, I feel like death. And I remember I said to Sean, I went, I think we're going to have to cancel today because I just don't feel very well. And he literally went, okay, fine, we'll cancel. And I went, Well, why don't you cook the food, and I'll support you and I'll tell you what to do, rather than cancelling your mates coming over, because it's not nice to cancel last minute.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'll just cancel. I'll cancel, or we'll just go out for lunch. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, I don't know what I wanted from him, but I think I wanted a different reaction. I think I wanted attention, basically.
Yeah,
I wanted to go.
Feeling
I wanted him to go, no, you'll be fine, and I'll help you. But it wasn't quite the thing that I got. But I made it through.
That's the thing with expectations.
I know. My expectations are here, and people don't necessarily always meet me there. But it's okay. So on Sunday, I ended up pulling myself together and making a roast for 5 of us, which was, I did barbecue beef short ribs.
Yum!
Cauliflower cheese, Yorkshire puddings, pigs in a blanket. I did my jerk pigs in a blanket again.
Oh my gosh.
And did stuffing. I just did the whole works. Anyway, when you do something, you're like,
smashed it.
I smashed it. I was like, this looks sick.
Yeah.
I was like, and I feel like I'm about to pass out. I can't. And then everyone was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is so good. Like, people were literally, legitimately dribbling at how good the food was. They actually really liked the starters as well, even though they were like.
What were the starters?
I brought don't come for me. I brought
I know what they are.
What?
Is it like M&S Picky Bits or Iceland Picky Bits?
Iceland. It wasn't Iceland. But oh my God, I love an Iceland Picky Bit. I used to do Iceland Picky Bits all the time. They are the best. No, it wasn't Iceland Picky Bits, it's actually Aldi. I bought like mozzarella dippers and mac and cheese balls.
Yeah.
And just did that as like little picky bits and spring rolls.
I was just about to say spring rolls.
Yeah, spring rolls. I love a good spring roll.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, did that. And yeah, anyway, I was like, and I finished the whole night. The night ended and everyone had left, and I was like, I am actually the roast king. Like, I can really put off a really good roast, and I think it takes a skill to be able to serve a roast while everything is piping hot.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so hard to do that when you've only got one oven.
It's really, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard,
and
Ricky Heft.
It's so messy. I haven't got my cloth today, but she's spilling. It is so difficult to do. Anyway, roast king. That was my week. What else? I'm in the process of creating some really cool online modules for equality and inclusion stuff for Turtle Bay, which is really exciting. And actually, it's making me really think about how do we do that more. As much as we love doing face-to-face learning and face-to-face educating into workshops, actually there's a way for us to do our workshops online as well and do create really cool modules.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's a wider reach then, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets to more people. And actually, the one that I've just done all about race module is really easy, 20-minute module that I've created based on the workshop that we did.
Yeah.
And it's really fun and it's easy, and I kind of feel like it gives people a real nice summary.
Is it live now?
Yeah, it's live. It went live last Friday.
Amazing. I have to have a little...
Yeah.
You have to give me a little...
I have to give you a login.
Tour.
Yeah, I have to give you a login for it. But yeah, and then it made me start to think, okay, how do we then take this further and start doing this as an offering for our clients?
Yeah.
We did discuss it a while last year.
Yeah.
A provider actually approached us about it, and then they disappeared. They ghosted us.
Yeah. Someone actually emailed again the other day, though, about that, about offering a learning platform. Yeah, I don't know if I said Sutra. Did I send it to you?
Oh, you sent it to me. No, yeah, the platform. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm getting confused now.
Yeah. But we need to...
Anyway.
If anyone's listening to this...
There's a lot of emails in the inbox.
Anyone's listening to this that knows anyone that we could work with and collaborate with to create some really cool modules around equality and inclusion, please reach out, because I would love to be able to speak to someone about it. Like I said, we had conversations last year and it didn't move any further. So, yeah, that was my week, really. We had some really good, oh my God, some of the best meetings this week for Sisu.
Yeah.
Like the creativity juices were really flowing.
Yeah.
We sat and did some work the other day in the pub, because as we do, and we just got so much creativity going. We finished it and I was like, we're taking over the world, y'all. New York, Australia, we're coming. Honestly, I walked home and I literally felt so like empowered. I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Even yesterday after our meeting with Kieran and Chris, I was like, my brain was literally like, it was on fire.
Buzzed.
Yeah, it was so buzzed. And I think I went for dinner with my friend Sophie, and I felt like I just sat there and I was like, they're doing so well. This.
We got fingers in all the pies.
Yeah. So yeah, fantastic week. Feel blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed and
very
highly
blessed.
favoured.
Oh, I love that. Blessed and highly favoured.
That's the church thing. That's the church. My mum used to say that to us, I think. Blessed and highly favoured.
Thank you, Agnes.
Big up, Agnes. Anyway, before we get into the word on the street, you have an icebreaker for us, no?
I've got an icebreaker. So,
Icebreaker.
because in our last episode, obviously, we touched on Roald Dahl and changing some of the language in the Roald Dahl books. And this week has been World Book Day. My question is this. What is your favourite fictional book?
Dun, dun, dun. Oh. So my I don't know. I feel like I can't remember as a child that reading that many books, but I know I read a lot of books, yeah, but I can't remember all of them. And the one that there's two that spring to mind. One is Colour Purple, and I don't think actually the book is what springs to mind. I think it's actually more the production. But the book that actually I remember reading and thinking, oh, this is magical, was Matilda. I just remember feeling like, oh my God, I'm a bit of a Matilda. And when I was a child...
Oh, you got superpowers?
No, I just felt like I was the odd one out in my family.
Oh.
So I always felt like I was a Matilda. I used to sit in my room.
I thought it was going to be a positive
No, babe.
story.
No,
babe. Of course not.
No. I used to sit in my room and, yeah, I used to read Matilda and I used to feel like I was a bit of a Matilda. And I used to sing that Pink song. What's the Pink song? In this family portrait, we look pretty happy. Let's play pretend and act like it comes naturally.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I used to do. I used to be such a drama queen. Still am. But that is what I used to do. And I used to feel like, and then I used to sit in my bedroom going, if I had magic, I would do this and I would do that and I would do.
Did you listen to it when you was already sad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we do that? It's
Yeah.
like when we're sad, I literally put on like the saddest
music
so that I can just sit there and wallow in my sadness.
Yeah. So Matilda, mainly because I always felt like I was going to grow up to be magical in some sort of way. I feel like
you are.
And I feel like, thank you. Applause, please, applause. This is what they do now.
Oh, right. Why? I'm always behind. Who does this?
Yeah, that was mine. Anyway,
Who does it?
I don't know. I was watching Ginny and Georgia. I was watching Ginny and Georgia.
Yes!
And her dad and her went to the comedy thing and they were doing this.
No, not comedy, spoken
word.
Yeah,
and they were doing this and I was like, I'm going to do this from now on because I like it. And you know, when you go and see when you get into the LGBTQI community, people do that a lot when they're like clapping instead of clapping.
It's nice. It's less offensive.
Yeah,
it's
this
less
is...
yeah, that's a bit, oh God, it's aggressive.
It's a lot. I hurt my hand.
Yeah, that was
anyway,
loud.
What was your favourite book?
So when I was like young, I read a lot of Enid Blyton books because my granny used to buy them for me. God rest her soul. But my favourite fictional book is actually Harry Potter. I am a Harry Potter geek. I love it. I love it. I identify as a witch, so it made sense that.
One of my other friends identifies as a witch. You two have got stuff in common.
I was going to say who, but you can't say that. All right, tell me after. Hook me up.
I will. Oh, okay.
So I loved Harry Potter. When I got the series, it's the first like lot of books that I remember really just like knuckling down into and being like, actually, well, no, I had like a series of Famous Five, so I did that with that, but. Yeah, I loved the Harry Potter. I thought everything was so magical. But now, as an adult, I'm like, I do think she's a bit of a rip-off.
Well, also, she's done some bad shit recently.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about... I mean, obviously, I love Harry Potter, but from following on from, you know, her vicious attack on the transgender community.
Yeah.
I just feel like she needs to be silenced.
She does.
Silenced.
But the books, I think they give a real good escapism for children.
Yeah, they do.
And adults.
They do. And it's funny, isn't it? Because both our books are based on magic and escapism and like a world that's very different to the world that we currently live in.
Yeah, fuck this world. Which
is actually so appropriate for what we do.
Yeah.
We're trying to create a better world for us all to live in. The connections are literally succinct. Everywhere. Just synchronising the shit out of everything. Anyway, let's get into word on the street, word on the street, word on the street, word on the street.
What's the word on the street?
Word on the street, word on the street. Right. Shall I go first?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go with this that I read in Propel, which I thought was cool. It was cool. So, Greggs has been recognised as the UK FTSE 350 firms to have key gender balance target 3 years early. So the food-to-go retailer Greggs is among the companies leading the way as the FTSE 350 firms hit a key gender balance target 3 years early. The proportion of boardroom jobs held by women at the country's biggest listed companies increased by nearly 3% points last year to 40.2%, according to the government-backed FTSE Women Leaders Review, which I just thought was great. So this is what it means is 40% of target was hit 3 years ahead of the 2025 deadline. Campaigners hailed it as a different moment for British business, but called for even more to be done. However, there are just 9 female chief executives in the FTSE 100, and 9 companies across the FTSE 350 still have all male executive committees. So I just feel like, you know, it's nice to see that people are doing the work. Like Greggs are, like they're
big. They're
paving the way, and I don't necessarily think they shout about it as much as other people that aren't paving the way do. You know. And I thought that was a really nice article to see, especially because recently we've been talking about representation, and we've been talking about gender balance, and, you know, it's nice to see that there's someone out there doing the good stuff. So when people ask us now who's doing good stuff, we can say Greggs is doing good stuff when it comes to female representation.
Yes, okay. I do want to know what roles they are, though. And it says on the exec committee. What does that mean?
Well, what's your hesitation?
Well, we just actually wrote an article for Propel around the challenges faced within the hospitality industry for female representation and also ethnic minorities.
We'll add the link in the bio.
And there's a lot of stats that are published that are really good stats, but actually when you delve deeper into them, it's like a lot of women sit within like a certain function when it comes to like exec roles. And, you know, there's quite a few like smaller businesses as well that are publishing really good stats, but if you've got like 4 women in your business, and you've got like, hang on, let me rephrase that. If you've got like 4 people sat on your exec board, whatever, and 2 of them are women and they're from the HR function and people function, and then you've got 2 that are men that are from whatever, then that's for me, that stat kind of is really diluted.
But it's still representation. So if you've got 4 people and out of those 4, 2 of them are execs and they're females, regardless of what their roles are, does it really matter?
I think that because I think if you pigeonhole women into certain departments and roles, then that's not really representation.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying that they tend to be more HR marketing, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll find that like the finance,
like operations, finance,
ops would be more, male dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think it's just like an extra layer of stats that then needs to be looked into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to cause more problems, but
It's about being a bit more transparent and saying,
don't be misleading.
yeah, that's what it's a bit transparency though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Have you got any news? I've got other stuff as well. I've got stuff on my phone.
Got loads from, what was it we called him earlier?
Our newsman on the ground. We've now got a newsman on the ground, everyone. He is our news reporter, and I mean, he's great. He's good at what he does.
He's absolutely amazing. Bless him.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, Shawnee boy.
I wasn't going to mention his name. You know how much is not being called out on the show.
Oh, sorry, babes. Oh God. Aww.
Oh God.
The one that took my eye was this cut parents' benefits over school truancy. That one I thought was quite interesting. I haven't actually read it yet. Speaking at a think tank, the Levelling Up secretary said the idea could help restore an ethic of responsibility. Parents should face child benefit cuts if they fail to ensure their children turn up at school. I mean, that's a bit of a tricky one, I think, because obviously dependent on the age. But some parents have absolutely zero idea that their kids are bunking off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's not really fair.
And does that include kids that are bunking off, not just like when you take your kids on holiday extra out of like school term?
Well, that's what truancy is, isn't it? I thought truancy was like, you know.
I think truancy is when you
just not turning up.
When you're not turning up to school when you're meant to be. I think that's what the definition of truancy is. I don't actually know.
Well, if that's the case, then again, I actually feel that that's a little bit harsh because
the action of staying away from school without good reason. Without good
reason, right? So, if that's the case, then you take your kid out of school for like a week, right, to take them on holiday to another country because you're on benefits and you can't afford to go away when it's school holidays because the prices are like triple the amount. Then you're creating an opportunity for your child to experience different culture, right? So I think that's a good enough reason for them to be out of school for a week. 5 days.
So basically what you're saying is you are actually educating them in worldly education rather than book education, which actually is just as beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could see where that, but then you could say that from the flip side, I know that Sean will listen to this as a teacher and be like, well, they're missing out on some serious stuff that will help them for their exams or whatever.
So I think that's dependent on age. Like, I wouldn't, genuinely, and come for me if you want, I don't care. If I want to take Maisie out of school, she's 7, she's in year 2. If I want to go away for a week on holiday, then I have no qualms in doing that. But if she was like in year 6 and, 11 and she's practicing for SATs, obviously that's a no-no.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing. I guess it's very different for very different people because I think everyone can argue why they would take their kid out of school. I think if you talk to any parent, they'll be able to argue the point as to why they're doing it, and justify it. I guess it's like as an educator, where's the line? And I guess that's why they're putting. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence with it because I don't have a kid, so I can.
I just think taking away people's benefits who are struggling.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with the benefit thing. I feel like there's definitely a way. But then if you take away the benefits and you fine them, that's even worse as well because they can't afford to pay the fine. So
you get fined anyway.
Do you?
That is what's in place now. You get a fine if you take your kid out of school for a holiday. You get like a £60 fine or something.
Wow, really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that was an interesting bit of news, though. I'm on the fence. I'm going to remain on the fence. I don't think the fine's the right thing, but I do think there should be some sort of consequences if people are truanting?
Taking their kids out of school.
Yeah. Bunking.
But also, just so you know, you can homeschool children, so...
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have taken the kid wouldn't go to school anyway, so you'd be homeschooling them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you want to take your kid out of school for a week and, take some homework.
But you can't take the kid out of school for a week and homeschool them, can you? For a week and then put them back in school.
I think you can do whatever you want with your own kids.
Wow. I think that's a recipe for disaster because there's some sick people out there. Anyway.
Jesus, you went there.
I saw another bit of news which I wanted to just touch on before it's a final bit, unless you've got any more. Sorry.
No.
Was because obviously it just melts my heart and it just makes me really upset with the world. And there needs to be some small stuff done about it. But homelessness, rough sleeping up more than a quarter in a year. And obviously the cost of living, the pressure is getting worse.
Indeed it is.
The number of people sleeping rough in England rose by more than a quarter last year. On a single night in autumn, 3,069 people slept outside. 26% more than in 2021, says the Department of Levelling Up Communities and Housing. The rise follows 4 years of decreases in rough sleeping, partly due to initiatives during the pandemic. Rising prices are forcing people who have never slept rough before on the streets, says charities. But in Bristol, military veteran Simon blamed his drug addiction for keeping him on the streets. The 48-year-old fears he will be dead by 50. And that just... Oh.
What? How do they get this data?
You always ask me questions I'm not going to know the answer to. How would I know how they get the data? I guess it's how many people.
Like, so they're like, 3,000 such and such a blah 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 sleeping rough. Like, are they physically going out and like counting people on the streets? So like, how is it?
A lot of rough sleepers will go to somewhere in the daytime.
Right, and they like register in or something?
I think, some of them register in or some of them try and get accommodation. I don't know how it works. This is all very sweeping statements, okay? So don't quote me on this.
This is all like theory.
This is all theory. But from the work I've done with Crisis, I feel like they actually have a way of monitoring how many people are... Because if you go to Crisis, they'll tell you how many rough sleepers they have registered.
Right, okay.
So I feel like there's something that happens.
So potentially it could be a lot more.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more than what they've got registered because people, they're not going around the streets counting how many people because that
impossible.
Well, that's sad. If you're a person, that's your job to go out and count how many people are on the streets. Imagine what that's doing to your brain and your mental health. I don't think anyone
has that job.
No. So it must be a way of registering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw the article and I just thought in this day and age where there seems to be in my eyes, this is my personal opinion, by the way. In my personal opinion, there is so many derelict buildings in this country. I don't understand why we haven't started to figure out how we can get more people off the streets and into those derelict buildings, and why there's not more being done. I also find it really frustrating that rough sleepers always get thought of last. Like when we talk about cost of living and we talk about things getting worse for everyone else that have got homes, we're not thinking about, well, what's going to be like for people that are on the streets.
Well, yeah, but then I suppose it's like that you have to have the balance with that because the people who are struggling to maintain and manage their homes are the people that then end up becoming homeless.
True.
So you need to have prevention before cure, as well as we need to find a cure for what's actually happening, what's currently happening with the people who are physically sleeping rough.
Yeah.
And I guess the derelict, well, when it comes to the derelict buildings, I suppose that's down to that would fall on the councils, I would imagine.
Government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So councils where they like divvy out their budget and whatnot. But you know, at the moment, all councils seem to be, focused on and doing is just building like more housing and more housing that is not great.
You mean quality wise?
Yeah.
Right. Let's leave that one there. Let's leave that one there. But I do want to say, like, I feel like, I don't know what the solution is, but I do know that I want to do more and figure out how to do more. At this point in time, I just don't know what, but I feel like CC as an organisation will figure out how we can support rough sleepers because it's something that I really feel really passionate about. And to the point where I just, every time someone asks me for money, I crumble and I'm just like, I'm so sorry, I have no change. And I still get to this point where I'm like, I said it to the Big Issue guy the other day, actually. I was like, he was selling a Big Issue and I said, I don't have any change. And he was like, I have a card machine.
Yes.
Actually, I didn't say it. My friend said it.
How?
And I was like, why is it that we haven't figured out a way for rough sleepers to have.
We
Not a card
said
machine.
this ages ago.
Yeah.
didn't we? We had this conversation ages
A
ago.
chip or something that you can just go, oh, here, have a tenner. Or here, and you can just tap your phone. We've now moved into this tech era that I feel like we need to like evolve with the times, and that hasn't evolved. Like, no one has cash, so you can't give people cash.
Yeah, absolutely. But then alongside that as well, the conversation needs to evolve, because there's still a lot of stigma attached to rough sleepers. And there's still a lot of people who don't want to give money to them because they just have a lot of bias.
They think you're going to go and buy drugs or alcohol.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, no, some of them will, because that's what they need to get through the night.
Yeah.
And some of them will go and use it to get somewhere to stay.
Yeah, or something to eat.
And like, regardless of what they're using it for, they want it. So just, if you've got it, give it to them. Stop judging people. I fucking hate the judgment I see people sometimes when they see a homeless person. It's like they look them up and down, they're just like, no. Or they don't even say anything to them and just like walk straight past.
That's what I don't like.
And I'm like, you put your head down and walk, and I'm like, they're fucking human beings.
Just give them a smile. If you can't give them any money, just at least give them a smile or say hello. Or, treat everybody like a human being.
I always
it's
go,
not hard.
I don't have any cash right now, but please can you stay safe? Make sure you get somewhere warm.
Yeah.
I try and say something, and it's not going to do a lot, but from speaking to homeless people and working with them in the past, they said the worst thing is actually when people literally ignore you.
Yeah.
Like they are invisible human beings. That's what they feel like.
It's complete and utter invalidation.
Anyway, I digress, but I'm so passionate about it, and it really annoys me when I see people being such dickheads to people that are rough sleepers. So I apologise.
Every time you say dickheads, it makes me laugh. I don't know, you say it with such passion. Dickheads.
Dickheads. Anyway.
It's your favourite insult.
It is. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let us get into the E&I topic of the week. E&I topic of the week.
I don't remember what it was.
You brought this one to the table, so
I
tell
did
us.
actually. Yeah, I did. I just need to refresh my little memory. My poor memory. Oh, yes. So, the E&I topic of the week, I wanted to explore the importance of storytelling since, it's World Book Day. No, it's not. That was yesterday, but it's World Book Week.
Well, when this gets out, it won't be World Book Week anymore, but yeah.
But this week it is.
Yeah, this week it is World Book.
Next week it won't be, but this week it is. So this is what we're discussing. I wanted to talk about the importance of storytelling, first of all. And, I do kind of want to go over as well, like, language use and, when is it taken too far, and...
What? And
forgot my sentence.
yeah, I was just like, where are you going with that? You're glitching.
Brain fart.
Oh, God.
Brain fart. So basically, you said something the other day, which is a conversation that we've had before as well about, and I've had it with a few different people, and lots of people have different opinions on this, but words have as much power as you give to them, right? And,
the reason why I make that noise, people, is because me and Louisa and I think probably Ricky and Sean have had some serious debates about this in my garden in the summer last year.
That's not the only time, but it's a recurring conversation normally when we're pissed.
Oh, God.
But yeah, words have as much power as you give to them. Language use is really important in this space. But why is it that we continuously push onus onto other people to watch their language when words do have as much power as we give them? So if I'm offended by a certain word, that's because I'm giving it its power to offend me. But language in this space is so important. We're always pushing the onus onto other people about, like, you've got to be careful of what language you use. So it's kind of like a contradiction in a way. And my question is, when is it taken too far? Can
we start at the beginning?
Sorry, I've waffled.
Rambled. Let's take it back to the storytelling and then talk about language.
The importance of storytelling.
Yeah, let's talk about the importance of storytelling before we get into the actual...
Literally one of the most important tools within our work, I think.
And what do you mean by storytelling? I think maybe because some people won't understand what you mean by that. So
yeah, so storytelling is basically, in a nutshell, sharing our experiences through life. In a nutshell. Literally, nearly all of our workshops we started off.
In a nutshell.
It's because the topic is so bloody vast. You can't literally, like, you can't do a 2-hour workshop and go into, like, you know, every avenue of
orifice.
Orifice. I actually don't know if that's the right way of saying it.
Oh.
Orifice. I think so, yeah.
So basically, when we do any sort of training, workshops, talks, we always use experiences that are either lived by us or that we've experienced through other people to tell a story about to bring things to life. That's what you're saying,
yeah,
right?
Bring things to life. So, like, you know, if I'm going to talk about being discriminated against as a woman, then I would use my personal experiences of that happening directly to me or indirectly, other people's stories as well, which is why conversation is such a big part of our work and our workshops, sparking that conversation so that we can, you know, collate other people's experiences and showcase them to others to really bring the work to life, as you said. And I think that's why our workshops are always bespoke, because we will always talk to a client about what experiences they're specifically having in their business, and then take those scenarios from them and embed them into our workshops and the content that we use to then educate their people.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I've got like these thoughts in my head right now, which is like people going at home going, what do you mean? Like, how do you do that in a workplace? Or how, and I think the how is what people are going to be sitting there going, how? And I'm like, the how is actually just have to ask people more questions.
Yeah.
Like, if you think to yourself, you're sitting at home right now, yeah, everyone, you're listening, right? So you're sitting out and you're listening.
Are we role-playing?
Oh, I wasn't going to.
Oh.
No.
I totally got the wrong end of the stick
You
there.
did. I'm just saying, if you're at home and you're listening to this right now, picture this. The last time that you sat with your friend or you sat with someone at work, what did you talk about? What kind of questions did you ask them? Did you ask them very surface level questions, or did you ask them more stuff to get the granular detail? So, for instance, we could do a little role play now. Okay, let me get into character. I'm going to be Jennifer Coolidge. Just going to get my shoulder out. I've been wanting to do this all day.
So sick.
So my role play. Okay, cool. So how was your day?
Yeah, really good. Fine. Yeah, really nice. Thanks.
And what exactly was it that you were doing today?
Oh, I took the dog for a walk. Did the ironing. Watched a bit of Netflix.
How long have you had the dog for?
Oh, well, I've had the dog now for about 12, 14 months.
Oh, nice. What made you get the dog?
Lonely.
You were lonely. Oh my
so
gosh.
Lonely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really lonely.
Who do you live with?
Nobody.
Oh.
Just me on my own.
Okay, so immediately there, I've managed to find out information that she has a dog. She's lonely. And that's from asking more pressing questions and really unpicking, but it's about listening into the cues of different things and taking those and unpicking them. It's basically like picking a lock, isn't it?
Yeah, and also it might not be that easy
No.
to someone who is quite a closed book, but the point is layers of questions is what will get you to the, you know, not the good stuff, but, you know, I don't know how else to phrase it. Getting to know someone.
Yeah, it'll get you to the juice. Did I say the same thing? What did you say?
The good stuff.
The juice. But yeah, I think it is difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I do think that we live in a world where we are all so busy and we're all so like stuck in our ways, and sometimes there's a fear from not wanting to ask the wrong questions and offend someone, which then follows into your next bit around language. And I think you're right. There is like this thing about how words have as much power as you give them to a certain extent. I think personally, there are words that offend me, mainly because of obviously what I know from where the words stem from, and how they make me feel. And I think sometimes you can't take away the trauma that people have in them around words. Like,
no, you can't.
So it's not. So sometimes it's not just about how the word you make the word make you feel. It could be that the word is attached to trauma.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is why I do think that it's not, the onus is not just on a collective society to alter the way that we speak, but also for us as individuals to heal whatever trauma is attached to the word that triggers us off, or not just a word, but just like language use, like, for instance, within the pronoun area, there are some people who get offended if you use the wrong pronoun, but at the moment, this is something that people are still learning to get to grips with. For somebody who identifies as the gender that they were assigned at birth, and the way that they may think, it may not always land, and for them to understand how somebody else feels who is not in the body that they want to be in. Do you know what I mean? So I think that it's cutting a little bit of slack for society to be able to like come up on this journey, rather than reaching like offensive, rather than reaching like a moment of being offended.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the problem, I would say, arises when it feels like you've corrected people enough and they're not changing.
That is a totally different story. I understand that
completely. That's
because
probably
that's frustration. Like,
yes, that's probably
I've fucking told you a million times.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to be. I don't want you to refer to me as
I'm a they. I'm
blah, blah,
they,
blah.
and
Yeah.
you'll keep saying he, and
That's frustration.
It's pissing me off now. I think you're
ignorance
right.
on the other party, 100%. But I think like in the initial, do you know what? I have actually got an example. So I had a workshop whereby there was a person in the group that wanted to be referred to as they. They were non-binary. Okay, so we did an exercise that was around privileges. Privileges for sale. This is an activity that we do, and we have a list of privileges, and they all cost £100. And in your groups, you get a certain amount of money, and you can purchase whatever privileges it is that you want. You're stripped of privilege, basically. So, you've got to start from scratch. You might have like £200 or £100 or £1,000, but you got to choose the privileges. So
just gave away our whole activity.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's a good one.
It's a good activity.
So anyway, this person chose a particular privilege, whereby I can't remember it word for word, like, forgive me, but I can't. But
Verbatim.
essentially...
Verbatim. It's a word I learnt this week.
Oh, what does it mean?
I can't remember it verbatim. I can't remember it word for word.
Oh, right, that's just like a summary of that sentence.
Yeah.
Love. Verbatim. But it was along the lines of, this person would like to not have to introduce themselves and their pronouns as they. And my question to this person was, how do you expect anybody to know that you want to be referred to as they if you don't tell them?
Yeah. And
to be quite frank, this person did not have an answer.
I thought they did. I thought they had an answer.
No.
Oh, I thought they said that they had a badge.
Oh, right, yeah. The person had a badge on, yeah. But I was like, that's on your lanyard. You definitely don't wear that every day. Yeah. And also, nobody is looking for a badge.
What am I referring to this person as?
It can't be that. it can't be that black and white. It's
No, I think you're so right. I think it's about allowing people. We are all on a journey. We say it all the time. We are all on a journey, and I think, and that's why I have removed the anger part of me that makes me get frustrated with people who make mistakes in this space, because there is no point. No one's going to learn if you come at something from a place of frustration. That's why we always say don't call people out and stuff, like call people in. Yeah. And I think if you are someone that is non-binary, identifies as something different to what you are assigned to at birth, or what you look like physically, however you want to describe it, I think you have to be patient with people to a certain extent.
Oh, definitely. And this is the thing. I think that the intent behind it, you can definitely differentiate between those that are being plain fucking ignorant or rude to those that are curious, genuinely do want to understand, but are making mistakes because it's not something that they do understand and it's not something that they're used to.
I know, but then on the flip side, okay, because I always like to think about it's very difficult. It's easy for us to say because we're not in the situation. We're not in their shoes. But I can only imagine that if every day someone is coming up to you and calling you a he and you identify as a she or identify as a they or them, it becomes grating because you're like, definitely. I am not that person. And I guess if I've today, for instance, I'm identifying as she, and all day I've been misgendered as a he, and you come up to me and I'm like, hi, I'm Olajide, and you're like, and you refer to me as a he, I may flip because I may be like, I've just had a fucking full day of this. I'm a fucking she.
No, absolutely. I totally get it, and that's the thing, isn't it? So that person is having a continuous experience, whereas each individual that gets introduced or whatever to this person they've just started their experience with this person.
It's the first experience. Yeah.
So it's so tricky, and that's why I think the onus is on both parties.
Yeah, it is. It has to be that. I think we all have to be a lot more patient with each other. I think we all have to be a lot more patient. We all have to be a lot more empathetic. You just never know what someone's gone through in a day before they've had that conversation with you.
Absolutely.
And so we all need to be more aware of just watching how we speak to each other, and also watching people's reactions. You can immediately, if you misgender someone, you can immediately see, are you right there?
I've got an itchy eye, sorry.
You can immediately see it in someone's face, right? You can see someone's face immediately will be like sort of disappointed or reserved or like blank. So I think you can, be more conscious of people's reactions, be more conscious of the situations that you're in. And a lot of the time, people that are non-binary, I feel like, introduce themselves most of the time, that are people that are confident enough to, they'll introduce themselves as whatever they want to be referred to as.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, then it's up to you, because I feel like once you have had that person tell you, you need to make more of a conscious effort. And I still make them.
No, absolutely.
I make the mistake all the time.
I think once you've been told once, then, once is enough.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Once is enough. But then it will take you some time to get used to saying it. So, for instance, we have loads of people that we have that are non-binary in our network, and I'll sometimes go heel, and I'm like, oh shit, them, sorry, shit. Yeah. And I do it even if I'm in front of them. I will still
I just did it a minute ago.
I will self-correct even if I'm in front of that person. I'll be like, I'm so sorry, and it's fine. That is okay. Like, we need to get rid of that fear of not wanting to make that mistake.
That's the thing, because then, I have been in situations where I'm so trying to be so conscious of it, to the point of it's creating a bit of an anxiety in me, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna fuck up, and I don't, but it is that fear factor, because you don't, if you're a genuine person, you're nice, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, and you don't want to offend anybody, so it does create a little bit of a feeling sometimes.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things where, again, I think Miss might have spoken about it before, where it's about, actually, the more you go out of your way to try and learn more about different people's experiences through storytelling, you will start to understand how someone may feel in those situations where they do get misgendered or where the wrong language is used around them, because I feel like I have my brain was just trying to recollaborate there.
I just thought of that. Oh my God, there's definitely a film that's like where I don't know what it is now, the film, but I just had a scene from a film where they're like,
My brain was literally just going at 100 miles an hour. It was just like empty. No, there's definitely been moments where I've been around people of late, and they're like, I would never have known that.
Yeah.
I would never have understood that until you told me about that. I would never have thought that would have been something that you would have experienced.
Definitely, being, you have to kind of like immerse yourself in the community that you want to learn more about. Like, you know,
I wouldn't say what immerse is quite like a heavy word. No, immerse.
Take it as you please.
Oh God.
No, what I mean is like have some connections, you know, find out about people. For instance, talking about like the trans community and non-binary, you know, there is a person that springs to mind for me, Chris King, who is very vocal on LinkedIn and shares a lot of his, I've just done it now, see? A lot of their experiences on LinkedIn that kind of like allows you to journey with them. So, you know, I feel like this is happening because I just said what I said, and now I'm like super duper being like,
sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I am super sorry. I am. Anyway, the content that they put out, is very personal. It's very honest. It's very open. It's very detailed as well. And from those posts, I feel like I can empathise way more with the experiences that that person is going through, or that, you know, someone from that community is going through, because they are putting it out there, because, you know, they're allowing a window into
their
what
life.
their life, into what that looks like.
Yeah.
I would never have known anything about it without having people post the way that they do.
Yeah, and I think that's the aha moment that we like to create in this podcast.
Yeah.
Right there. It's all about trying to broaden your network so that you are able to potentially get a window into other people's experiences.
Yes.
From different characteristics, from different backgrounds, from different social groups, etc., etc., etc.
Chris storytells fabulously.
Sorry?
Chris storytells fabulously.
Yeah. Chris is a really good storyteller, and I think there's so many amazing storytellers on social media these days that you can follow.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll put a couple of them in the show notes for this one, just like a couple of people that we like to follow.
Yeah.
That could be quite useful. But yeah, I think storytelling can be so powerful. And I wrote a quote. This was what I was trying to find on my laptop. I wrote this thing this week about storytelling. I want to read it out because I think it's interesting that we're doing storytelling this week, and we did that post. And we wrote this on LinkedIn. It says, storytelling is a powerful tool for communication and has been an integral part of human culture for thousands of years. Stories are used to entertain, to teach, to inspire, and to connect people on a deep emotional level.
Oh, that's really nice.
And then there was a quote by Maya Angelou, who, by the way, is a G. I honestly, I need to get a Maya Angelou quote book. In fact, that's what I'm going to get myself.
Does that exist?
I don't know. I feel like there must be one. I just love her. You should listen to her talk and listen to her sing. Honestly, her voice is like, Maya Angelou, and I can't do it, but she's just got this like quite deep voice, and she's amazing. Anyway. Fangirl moment.
I've heard her speak, but not sing.
She does I suppose it's like more like spoken word rather than sing.
Right, okay.
So Maya Angelou said, There is no greater agony than start again. Sorry. Get my teeth back in.
Got some, Danny, we're literally getting tongue twisted left, right, and centre.
Also, my throat is like, my throat is really dry, and I keep drinking water. It's not helping.
Oh.
There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you.
Love that.
Mm.
Love
and
that.
I feel like we're all desperate to share our stories and to share our experiences.
Telling stories is part of healing as well. Like, it's healing your own traumas at the end of the day when it's like...
Therapy.
What is it? Yeah, therapy. Yeah, exactly. But what is it they say? Like, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah. Is that what they say? Problem shared is a problem halved. I thought it was a problem shared is a problem gained. No, that's not. Yeah, you'll probably got it right. Yeah. Okay.
Literally. Cool. What are they called?
Antidotes.
Fuck's sake.
Anecdotes.
No, but it's not an anecdote. It's a...
Proverb?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Moving on swiftly. So we're going to move on to the part of the poddy where we take questions from our lovely community. But Louisa's got a little bit of an announcement to make first.
Have I? I'm not pregnant.
No, but we've been asking our people, our community. Oh, now it's fucking clicked. It's fucking fell. The pennies dropped.
Yay!
The pennies dropped. The pennies dropped, everyone. Pennies dropped. Pennies dropped.
We have landed.
I was going to do the intro. I was going to do an intro to it first, but you go.
I thought that was the intro.
No, I was going to say, we've been asking everyone on socials about what we can call our community because we don't like the word community. And Louisa has finally come up with something that people have shared and she loves and we love. And I'm struggle to say it, so go for it.
You are now the C Society.
Woo! Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so we are now going to be calling you
The C Society.
the C Society. Did I do it? Did I say it? The C Society, y'all. You're the C Society. Woo! Okay, so we've got some questions from the C Society. They weren't called that before, but then now you are. So the C Society would like to know. Sorry, everyone. I've got a cough. I'm in recovery. How do you broach the subject of work? So sorry.
So sorry. So sorry.
This is a bit of a grammatical error here. Sorry. So,
Get on with it.
I know. How do you broach the subject of not wanting to do theme days, or about how they are benefiting in the right way in a workplace environment?
As in, like, how do you approach the subject with somebody who is wanting to do the theme days and by saying it's actually, this is not okay?
Yeah, so basically what I'm getting from this question is that they are in a business, that they're doing theme days, and it's not benefiting the business. How do you broach that subject?
I think just be honest. Just you've got to work out why it's not benefiting the business. If it's doing damage as well, then you need to work out where the damage is and then present it to whoever is promoting the theme days, and this is why we shouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's a very easy way of putting it, I guess. I guess if I was thinking about raising it in a work environment that I didn't feel confident enough. So say, for instance, you're...
Right. Well, this is the thing, right, with these questions, we've got to guess what the person is like.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that's the question, then we've got to come at it from this person's confident enough to go to the business leader, whoever's putting it on, and be like, look, here's the stats, here's the data, I'm presenting it to you. This is not working. This is why. Blah blah blah. Or we've got to come at it from an angle where this person is not confident enough to go through to whoever.
Yeah, I mean, no one said this is going to be easy, Louisa.
What, answering the question?
Yeah. I feel like what I'm getting from this question is that said person is asking, maybe I don't feel like this is benefiting the business. How do I tell the business that it's potentially more harmful than benefiting? So, for instance, International Women's Day, you're telling everyone to fight for equity, and you're sharing images of the woman hugging herself, but actually you're not actually looking after women in the business. There's no maternity pay packages. You're not talking about the menopause. You're not making sure that there's flexible working for parents.
Yeah.
It's like that's I think it's like, what I would suggest is that you go with them and say, these are the things that I think are the issues that haven't been solved. So you talking about International Women's Day feels quite counterintuitive or against what's actually happening internally, where you're not actually asking us as women what we want.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Find out what the damage is.
Yeah, but I think it's more like,
where is the damage? You got to have the facts.
You have to go in. Like, I think you have to have the facts, but I also think you have to go in and say how it's affecting you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
absolutely. Why it's not beneficial? Why it's damaging?
Yeah. So the other question from the Sea Society, I don't have any background history on this one. Sorry.
Maybe we should start asking people to send in their data.
Can you send in your birth charts, where you work, your star signs? So the question from the society, the Sea Society, is that you mentioned neurodiversity, and they were wondering if you could give any examples of how you can begin conversations around it in the workplace.
Well, you could do a talk lounge. So, Sisu runs a service which we have named ourselves Talk Lounge, and the Talk Lounge is basically. This is such an easy way of sparking those kinds of conversations.
No, I know. I'm just laughing at the Talk Lounge because it just it always fills me with so much joy because I just love the Talk Lounge.
The way that Olajide pitches the Talk Lounge to clients is this. It's an Oprah show with a Q&A at the end.
I do. I love it. Because I grew up watching Oprah and Maury Povich and Jerry Springer and all those.
Jerry Springer!
And all those trashy talk shows.
Trisha?
No, I didn't watch Trisha.
What?
Sorry, I didn't like Trisha Goddard. Sorry, not for me, not the one.
So you didn't watch any UK ones?
No, I like the saucy juiciness of America.
Bloody hell.
The fucking trash that is America trash.
Sauce.
Anyway, I grew up watching Oprah and all those talk shows, and actually what I like about it, forget about Jerry and all those trashy ones, but Oprah specifically.
Yeah.
Oprah show talked about real life topics.
Yeah.
And they would bring a guest on and they would talk about it on stage, and then they would get the audience to participate.
Yeah.
And the audience would share experiences and questions. And I think that is such an amazing way to begin storytelling.
100%.
So that's why we...
Yeah, that's why we do it.
That's why we do the Talk Lounge. So yeah,
They're very easy. They're normally like an hour long, and you tell us what you want us to speak about. We put together the content for you. We have a chat about it between us, and we give you some real chunky bits of education. And then at the end, the audience has the opportunity to participate by doing a Q&A with us. And what you normally find is that, people's curiosity is sparked within the audience. So they tend to engage. That's where they start to engage, and they start to ask questions that may have been burning for a long time, or may have just created through listening to us chat. But then also after that, that's when like the real magic happens, I feel like, because then people just go away, because it's about bringing a lot of people together into one place, or online, virtual as well. We do them a lot virtually, bringing everyone in, and then the magic happens after, when people go away and they start to have their own little pockets of conversations, and then you start to find out actually what people in your business really want to see, really want to know more about. It's just I just love them.
I do love a Talk Lounge. And I think it's actually funny because a lot of businesses have done the Talk Lounge with us, and that's been the start. It's funny because a lot of people start with a Talk Lounge because it's like an easy dip your toe in.
I was just about to say that.
Dip your toe in. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
And people are like, okay, we can do a talk lounge. We can do that on a lunch break.
Yeah.
Sometimes do it on lunch breaks.
So,
and it can be around a simple topic, and it sparks conversation. And then actually what then people have done is they've used that to listen to the people in their business about what people want to talk about and what people want to learn more about, and then use that to build some of the other further education they need, and even sometimes build the strategy for the rest of the year and stuff. So yeah, talk lounges, they're the one.
And the employees do love that, because when you get an external person in, like whether it's us or whoever, whatever, but when you bring in somebody externally, it just sets a different tone for the people. It actually creates a more of like a reassurance that you're serious about your E&I journey, because you're investing in it and you're talking to an expert, or you're talking to a professional, and bringing those people in to help. And people do, don't they? They just think, great, this is good. Okay, they're actually doing something. So like, it makes people feel a bit more safer on this E&I journey as well.
Thank you. That was a good little plug, but also a good answer. Anyway, that's enough from our CC Society. You can all please send in more of your questions next week if you want us to answer anything. And if you are also, if you could, for Louisa's purposes, send in your birth chart, your name, where you work, where you live, what your telephone number is, so that in case we need to ask you any more questions, we can call you on the show live. That would be fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyway, as we move on to the final part of the show, one of my favourite parts, the Mannies of the Week.
I actually prepared a Manny of the Week.
You did.
I can't remember what it is, because I felt like I got inspired with this manifestation when James sent us a photo of the cacao ceremony that was happening in the studio. I was like, do you know what? I think since I moved in with Rick, I haven't made that space for myself, and it's actually now like starting to really affect me, and I need to create that space. So I got inspired by the cacao ceremony on the floor over here to actually create that space for myself. And when I say like magic and stuff, I am like really into like crystals and meditation, the moon. I love the moon. So that's my practicing magic basically.
Okay.
Manny of the week.
Manny of the week, practicing magic. You've got a lot of space in that place of yours to do that as well. You can create some nice little like magic corner.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be really cute. My Manny of the week, I'm split between two, and I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth next, but I feel like my manifestation of the week is going to be around confidence. I feel like people always think that I'm a super confident person, and I think the exterior of me comes across as like I'm super confident and I can just do whatever I want and say whatever I want. But there are definitely things that affect my confidence, and I sometimes question. I have an imposter syndrome sometimes, and I think as the business grows, and we're looking for a sponsor for our event. Remember, as we're having to approach people to ask them for money, I sometimes sit there going, I don't know if I can do this. And I start to like question like my ability, and I'm like I feel like I shouldn't be doing this, and I have like real imposter syndrome.
Do you think that that's confidence? Then you don't think that that's just pride?
I think it's a mixture, Louisa. But I was only talking about the confidence today.
Okay,
but okay.
Save that one for next week.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think it's a mixture of pride, confidence, imposter syndrome. I think it's a whole shebang. But I do feel like confidence is definitely something that I need to work on. Feeling more confident to just ask for what I deserve.
Ask
for what we deserve, and also not being afraid to take risks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that comes the confidence in myself and my ability will then allow me to take those risks to be able to push forward.
Do you know?
And I read something recently about risk, actually, somewhere. I can't remember where I did.
Yeah, this is funny, right? Because that Josh, who I said I had a meeting with this week, who was like super passionate and like really good chat, he said a line that was about taking risks, and he was like, without risk, it's a fool's world or something like that. No, it wasn't that, but it was along the lines of that. I'm going to find out what it is and post it on our socials, so keep an eye out. But it was really, really good. I wrote it down because I was like, oh, that's such a cool quote.
Yeah.
But it is, and it was true. Like you can't go through life without taking risk.
No. I do feel like I take risks, but I take risks in like, I'll fucking book a holiday on the credit card. Fuck it. Oh,
that's
God.
not what it was.
Oh, is that not it? No. Oh, okay. So we have come to the end of an episode. I know. Let's recenter ourselves, everyone. Take a deep breath. Stay brave. Stay honest.
And stay curious.